And tonight's show comes to you from the Palace of the Lost City at Sun City. And my special guest today is Watershed's Craig Hinds. We've just moved from the piano where you were playing the various songs that you particularly like. Besides the piano, what else? What other musical instruments do you play?
Just the real basics: acoustic guitar, and I think I think that also spreads across into the band. I feel. I mean, you should always further and better yourself on your instruments, and I'm constantly being nagged to take up piano lessons. I have tried, but I think I've just sort of reached an age where I'm quite stuck in my style. But as far as acoustic guitar is concerned, it's just really what I'll put into the band. There is a lead guitarist. His job is to play lead guitar, electric guitar. There is a drummer, and his job is that, and mine is purely to keep rhythm. So I'm the rhythm guitarist in the band. I also play the harmonica, which is in a song, for example, Yesterday Again and Shine On Me, also off the first album. So the three. When you
put me on stage with you, when you're performing, whether it's a South African audience or an international audience, what zone are you in?
I think initially it's always tough because audiences can be tough. I think it's pretty much going on and really trying to go out with a bang, going out with a song that people recognize, and also having a couple of those songs in reserve as well. So if you're feeling that the audience is possibly slipping away a little bit, I mean, we do these set lists, so of say 15 songs in a show. And we normally try and stick rigidly to those songs in that order, because that's how we believe the show is going to develop and move and take people sort of through different moods and things like that. But if I look into the audience and I see that we might be losing their attention slightly, we could make an executive decision to throw in a well-known hit, and which will bring the audience back in. And I think that's more particularly with the international audiences, particularly the Germans and the Austrians and that.
But for you personally, because that's just, changing the music, when you are on stage and you are belting out those numbers, whatever it is, in what kind of headspace do you find yourself in? Because I've heard that you're almost very intense and close your eyes very tightly sometimes. What are you thinking? What are you feeling when you're on stage?
What you just said, belting them out, I think that's that's exactly what it's about. I think people buy into that. People like to see the emotion that songs are possibly about. So I suppose, I think I live and relive a lot of the lyrics and a lot of the songs. So having played particular songs over and over again every time for me is like playing it again, new. I think I love playing with a lot of intensity, and I feel I get great responses that way. I think people are very quick to see if a band is performing for them or not, and I think if they're paying to come and watch you, it's about giving them the best show you possibly can, no matter what mood you might be in. That all has to go out the window when you're on stage.
Do you often get into a mood?
No, it's more just the stress of last minute things that need to be done and before you go on. But we try and at least set 10-15 minutes aside to get your head in there, because you have to. I think it's not easy going on in front of lots of people.
Do you have any special rituals that you perform before you go on stage?
I just tend to mill around a little bit quietly alone, in and around the dressing rooms and through the band and whoever might be backstage. But I think it's just a little bit of time alone I think it's like a sport, I remember when I was playing a lot of sport at school, before I went onto the field or into the pool, it was about just really going through your opposition in your head, and each player and how they play, and imagining yourself marking them or going on the attack or whatever. So literally playing the whole game in your head before you actually go onto the field. And it's the same with music. I think it's taking, I would sit down with a set list and go song for song, how it's going to flow into the next, and think of ways. And you know, as I said earlier, it's like every show is a new show, and thinking through all the songs, and you know, so when you go on, it's like you've been there before. It's not a brand new stage. I love to be at the venues early as well. I love to walk onto the stage before the people have walked in, and just get a feel of the room and that. So when you walk on, you feel at home.
You spoke about performing in Germany, but you've performed more than just in Germany, and you've become very popular in some parts of Europe and in Asia as well. How did you do that? Because a lot of artists say it's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting one, and that whole thing with luck. I mean, luck plays a really serious role. I think it's about songs, but I think a lot of people have written a lot of great songs but they haven't quite had that little lucky break. And I think it was great that we had a nice break with Indigo Girl, which actually got us into Germany, Austria, Switzerland. In fact, that particular song was a top 10 in Europe. And once again, that song was picked up by, as you said, the Asians, and it was covered by a very successful boy band. And Indigo Girl became the title track of their album, and they translated it into Mandarin. And it's a really beautiful. I think the way they've done it is absolutely lovely. It's really cool. So yeah, I mean, that's just the thing, and moving around with those audiences is also very exciting, also new experiences and all.
Have you ever been booed?
Touch wood, no. And you actually find the fans overseas in Europe they get really involved in a band. If they decide that that's their band, they love it.
Yeah.
They will have scrapbooks. So, you know, you're on a trip there, and they come out with these photo albums of photographs of you that you've never seen. Where they get them from, I mean, I could never say, but every article that's ever been published in Germany or for, you know, wherever they might come from, and you have to sign their books for them.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing. I haven't seen that here yet, even though we have a fantastic fan base. But that sort of avid support of the music is quite incredible.